Today on Film and Focus Reviews, I'm here to tell you why I'm more excited for Amazing Spider-Man than I am for The Dark Knight Rises. First thing is, I'm not here to tell you that Amazing Spider-Man is going to be better than The Dark Knight Rises. I'm just telling you that I'm more excited for it. Let me tell you why. When Tim Burton brought us Batman back in the 90s, we all thought that it was the end-all be-all of Batman movies. He had done it perfectly. And then we found out after a few iterations that it wasn't the best Batman we could get. Christopher Nolan brought us what many consider to be the best Batman to date in Batman Begins, and continued that into The Dark Knight. I feel that the same can be said for Sam Raimi and his Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. He brought us a version of Spider-Man that exceeded all that we had seen before, but we quickly realized that it had its faults, some major faults. Now we have a new Spider-Man coming to theaters, and it looks like the filmmakers have learned from the mistakes that Sam Raimi made and are bringing us an even better version of Spider-Man than we could have even expected. So now we have history repeating itself. What we once thought was as best as we could get has now become a stepping stone to something even better. So why does that make me more excited for The Amazing Spider-Man? It's because I'm looking forward to the unknown. I don't know what's going to happen in The Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know if they're going to hit all the notes that I've been waiting for a Spider-Man movie to hit. But what I do know is that The Dark Knight Rises is going to be good. Christopher Nolan hasn't put out a terrible movie in his whole career as far as I'm concerned. He's hit it out of the park 2 times already, each time progressing forward in his filmmaking and in the limits that the Batman franchise can offer us. So I know that this time around he's going to do exactly the same thing. Do I know what the story involves? No. He keeps all that under wraps, and I'm extremely excited for that part in general. Every time he comes out with a movie, he keeps it all under wraps. He wants to deliver to us a pure version of the movie that he created. He doesn't want us to know every single thing. He wants us to experience and discover along with everybody else in the theater. The Amazing Spider-Man is doing something much the same way. We don't really know how the story's going to play out. But on top of that, we don't know if Mark Webb's going to deliver us an Amazing Spider-Man movie, no pun intended. We don't know because he's not proven as Christopher Nolan is. And that wonderment of the unknown has me very excited because the movie looks really good. From what I've seen in the trailers, it looks exciting. It looks like something very different from what we got in the Sam Raimi franchise. And I know a lot of people are like, well, it's Spider-Man. It's his origin story. He's going to get bit by a spider. He's going to swing around on webs. He's going to fight something. And in the end, Peter Parker feels he's cursed, and he's that everyday, everyman kind of guy who is put upon by having these superpowers. We may get a lot of that. But what's going to be different is the way it's seen, the way it's filmed, the way the mood and the movement of the story is going to be different just because it's being seen through a different filmmaker's eye. And Mark Webb has already proven that he's a very different filmmaker than Sam Raimi could ever be. Not saying one is better than the other, it's just different sensibilities will lend themselves to a different story. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for seeing how that's going to unfold in this new interesting way. Christopher Nolan is just going to deliver what Christopher Nolan does best, and that is an excellent story surrounded by great visuals and moving characters. I'm pretty sure, I can almost put money on it, that Dark Knight Rises is going to be a better film overall than The Amazing Spider-Man, just because of the caliber of filmmaker attacking the project. But wouldn't it be awesome if we got a Spider-Man movie that everybody could stand up and say, I loved it, it's amazing, it's great filmmaking. While everybody's out there saying, oh, why do we need a new one? Why do we need a rehash? Why do we need a remake, a reboot, whatever? Instead of complaining about getting a reboot, how about we just be excited that we may get the Spider-Man movie that everybody is going to love? The Spider-Man movie that's going to make us excited to see a sequel. This movie, The Amazing Spider-Man, could be to the Spider-Man franchise what Batman Begins was to Batman. I think we should all be excited and hopeful that that's what we're going to get, and not sit around complaining that we're just getting another Spider-Man movie. Because if that was the case, when Batman Begins was about to come out, we would have all been complaining that we're getting another Batman movie. So let's move into the theaters for The Amazing Spider-Man with a little bit more hope than dismay, and let's be thankful that as fanboys, as lovers of movies, that we're getting a year where Spider-Man and Batman get the full-blown big screen treatment alongside the Avengers and next year Superman. Let's be excited that these movies are hitting the theater in our lifetime. If you want to weigh in your thoughts on The Dark Knight Rises or The Amazing Spider-Man and the battle between the two this summer, leave them in the comments section below this video. And don't forget to check out the regular podcast, Film in Focus, which can be found on iTunes.